Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Dhena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Our dear Srila Haridas Thakur, we pray to your lotus feet at this holy place to please empower us to chant the holy names purely, to always be fully conscious that Krishna is present in his holy names and that we are his eternal servant. Let us always depend on the holy name as our maintainer and our protector. Let us always do everything favorable to your service and reject everything that's unfavorable. Please let us always remain meek and humble in your service, and please let us give everything that we have to you. Thank you for considering our request. Hare Krishna. And in marketing, there's such a thing as benefits-based marketing. If you simply present a product to people that's unknown and you tell them how much it costs, and you say, here's the price you have to pay, people will naturally reject it because they don't know what they're paying for, and people like to pay for things anyway. And in a similar way, to convince the mind to take the holy name, one has to present the benefits, benefits-based marketing. And therefore, we find the great acharyas making prayers to their mind, saying, my dear mind, listen what I have to offer you here, something special. And so, if we keep in mind the benefits of chanting the holy name of the Lord, and we study that regularly, we'll be inclined to take it. That's why marketing works. That's why people market. It's because when they present benefits to people, then people get interested. Because as the Shastra says, anandamayo bhyasat, living entities just want to have fun. They're looking for happiness everywhere. And if you tell the living entity, here's where you can actually enjoy, and he can understand it and see the benefit, be convinced, then he'll take it. Living entities go to the bottom of the ocean, and they go to the outer space in this universe trying to find some happiness. And that's natural because everyone wants to enjoy. So the Shastras speak very loudly to us about how the ultimate happiness in life is by surrendering to the holy name. Of course, we're not looking for the holy name to give us happiness, but it should be noted that by chanting the holy names of the Lord with faith and attention, then we'll naturally become happy. That's good to know. And if we forget the benefits from practicing the chanting of the holy name, we may do it mechanically. Just like Chaitanya Charan Prabhu gives the example that if you go to the gym and you lift weights so you can make yourself stronger, you may, after a few days, say, well, I like lifting weights to get strong, but it's a little bit troublesome to lift the weights. So what I'll actually do is just move my arms. I won't actually pick the weights up. And I'll go through the motions, but the weights can stay there because that's a little troublesome. And after some time, you'll think, well, I'm spending my half an hour in the gym, and then you'll think, well, I'm not really getting anything from it. So then I may quit. So in a similar way, I may approach the chanting of the holy name, and I may think that, well, I'll put in my time. Fine, I'll do my 2 hours every day for the next 40, 50 years until I leave this mortal frame. But I may leave behind the part where I'm actually focusing on the holy name as the Supreme Personality of God in Himself. So there are a couple statements in the Kevala Namashtakam about the benefits of chanting the holy name. Madhuram madare byopi. This is described by the anonymous author of the Kevala Harinamashtakam. And that is that the holy name is very sweet. You get, a kind of a taste from chanting the holy name of the Lord, he writes, that is very appealing. And so much so that Rupa Goswami writes in one of his verses about how it's so sweet that he needs more tongues to taste it. Everyone has some experience from the tongue of tasting something sweet. I know for myself, I'll think I'll just have one, and then I taste it, and I'm walking out the door, and then all of a sudden my tongue goes, turn around and go back and get another one. It's like, who said that? It's like, me, I want one more. There's something just natural about going for that which is sweet, that which tastes good. And then I'll have another and another and another and another. However, when I do, the material taste diminishes over time, and I may regret it later. I think, oh, how did I gain 40 pounds in the last 2 months? Because all I was doing was eating really good stuff. But that's the nature of the material world. The verse goes on to say, Mangalanam, that the holy name is all auspicious. So it's not only sweet, but it's also auspicious. So that means that not only does it taste good, but it's good for you. It's good and good for you. So in the material world, oftentimes things that are good for you, they're not actually sweet. And the things that are sweet are not good for you. You may say, oh, I'll eat all good things, but it's like, boy, it tastes terrible, and I wish I could eat what he's eating. And there are so many side effects from the things that we take in this world that so we try to alleviate pain, and we try to find some pleasure. But for instance, in the pharmaceutical industry, that is, there's a great endeavor to make drugs that make you feel better and alleviate your pain. However, according to the Food and Drug Administration in America, along with the benefits that you get from taking the drug, they also have to give a list of all the things that can go wrong. And in any normal commercial for particular pharmaceutical offerings, you'll find a short list of the benefit. That is, you won't have the sniffles. And then the rest of it goes on for another half an hour, telling how you might get dry, scaly patches on your skin, your eyes may become bloodshot, you may lose your hearing, or you may even die from taking it. And of course, they try to gloss over that, even though it's a requirement by law. And everybody knows this in the material world. In fact, there was a popular musician, Huey Lewis, who I met once in the airport, and he wrote a song called I Need a New Drug, because in the 1980s, people were focused on trying different kinds of designer drugs, whatever drugs they could find, in order to feel better about life, overcome their miseries, and feel happy for some time. But he went on to list the ways in which whatever drugs were available had some side effect. So he was praying in his song, unknowingly, for the holy name. Because he was saying, I need a new drug, and then he was saying, one that won't make me sick, one that won't make me wish I hadn't taken it, and so forth. So this is the meaning of Mangalam. It means that not only the name is Madhuram, but it's also Mangalam. It's sweet, and it's also auspicious. It means that you taste something wonderful, and at the same time, it's also good for you. How is it good for you? Srimad Bhagavatam says, Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janaya Yashavairagyam Yanam Chayarhaitukam. By the direct process of devotional service, which especially means chanting Hare Krishna. You can't get any more direct than that. By sitting and chanting Hare Krishna with a devotional heart. Then you get Jnana and Vairagya as a free gift. As Navina Nirada Prabhu likes to say, free gift. It comes that you have a feeling of natural perspective that you get of the material world. What's good for you, what's not. And you also get the strength not to take the things that aren't good for you. You can leave them behind. You have knowledge, what's bad, what's good, and you also have vairagya, which means some spiritual strength, the wherewithal to not take things that aren't good for you. You can leave them behind. And this comes by chanting Hare Krishna. Your life becomes more and more auspicious. And then he goes on in his poem, Kevala Namashtakam, to describe how your perspective in life changes. And that you see that the whole material creation, everything in it is insignificant. From Brahma down to the small ant, a piece of grass, he says the whole universe compared to the holy name seems trivial and insignificant. There's nothing here that can actually attract the attention of someone who's tasted the holy name, because it's Krishna himself and it's completely fulfilling. And also, the verse in the Padma Purana describes other benefits from the holy name. It says that the holy name is a touchstone, a chintamani, and it transforms us. So oftentimes I think, why is my life so complicated? Does anybody ever think like that? Why am I so messed up? Anybody ever think like that? A couple of you. And how will I change? And there are millions of books about how to change your life. People have a lot of advice about how to systematically change one's life. But the only way that's permanent and systemic is to change one's heart, to transform one's inner desires. And this happens by staying in contact with the holy name. And anyone can experience this for him or herself by regularly chanting the holy name of the Lord. Our lives begin to transform. And we are transformed by the touch of the holy name. And the experience is, according to the Padma Purana, that Krishna is personally present in his name, that it's alive, and that he's reciprocating with us. So any of the ways in which we have a desire for a perfect relationship are available through the holy name. Nama Chintamani Krishna's Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. There's the form of Krishna, and he's fully available and alive in the holy name. Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukto, and he's perfect. Everything that we're looking for is in the holy name. As it says in the Sri Upanishad, all forms of incompleteness are due to incomplete knowledge of the complete whole. And this is why I feel incomplete in my life, is because I don't have complete knowledge of the complete whole. But this verse says that the holy name is Purna. It's complete. And just by chanting the holy names, then I'll have and experience completeness, because I'll get complete knowledge from the process of chanting the holy name. Krishna says in the Gita that Yomam evam asammudo janati purushottamam sasarvabid bhajati mam sarva bhavena bharata. That one who knows me, and the best way to know Krishna is through his chanting his holy names, becomes the knower of everything. You know everything by chanting the holy name. You have complete knowledge, and you feel satisfied. And it's pure. There's no additives to the holy name. And nitya mukto, it's always liberated. It's in the transcendental position. Binatvam nama namino, and then it's non-different from Krishna. It's exactly the same as Krishna. In the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, in the first chapter of the first canto, Sutta Goswami says, Apana samsritim goran yannama vivishogrinan tatta sadyo vimucheta yabhibheti swayambayam. That you can always count on the holy name, because he's fully present. And even in fearful situations, you can call out Hare Krishna. Try. Hare Krishna. Because oftentimes I notice when we're driving and then there's a near accident, I always say, whoa! And I'm not sure where I'm going to go if I say that. So the Bhagavatam says, don't say whoa, say Hare Krishna. It says call out the holy name practice. Damodar Vamsidhari, who lives in ISV, he's a great devotee, and he loves Lord Jagannath. I remember once when we were in the old temple, and there was a big signboard in the temple with the verse on it, and it started to fall over, and he yelled out, "Oh, Jagannath!" I thought, how do you do that? How do you become so trained that whenever anything happens, you immediately are able to say, "Oh, Jagannath"? But this is one of the benefits, Sutta Goswami says, that you can always be protected by the holy name if you just learn to call out. Try, "Oh, Jagannath." Yeah, so Prabhupada writes in his purport there that one should take advantage of this, and one should call out the holy names in all kinds of circumstances in one's life, and take advantage of the fact that Krishna is fully present within his name. Binatvam namanamino means there's no difference at all between he and his name, so you can always have the association of Krishna. And then Rupa Goswami says that the holy name, he repeats, and Krishna are the same. And we're all good with that, right? Say yes. Yes. But then he reverses himself and he says, but actually there's a difference between Krishna and his name. And I hear some gasps here in the front row. Nanda Murari was shocked at this statement. And then he says, although Krishna and his name are the same, there's no difference at all. Binatvam namanamino. He says, Vacham vachakam ityudete bhavato dvanto vibhavo. There's no difference between Krishna and his name, but he said there is a difference. He said the difference is that the holy name of Krishna is more merciful than Krishna himself. And the reason is that even if I offend Krishna, and we take it that if I'm here in the material world, I've somehow or other made an offense and I've fallen away from Krishna's association. Even so, the holy name of Krishna follows me wherever I go, and he avails himself to me. In fact, he not only avails himself, but he forces his way back into my life. And I remember the first time I heard the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Actually, I used to hear it because the devotees would chant it on the street in Berkeley, California. But the first time that it moved me in a visceral way, when I was driving home from a music lesson with my mother in a VW microbus, coming out of the Caldecott Tunnel, heading back towards Lafayette, my hometown. And then the radio was playing, and George Harrison's song, My Sweet Lord, came on, and the Hare Krishna mantra came into the car. And there was a combination of feelings I had. First of all, I said, what's George Harrison, the Beatle, have to do with Hare Krishna? And I thought, well, it must be okay. Because when I used to see the Hare Krishnas, I think, what's wrong with these people? But then I thought, well, they must be okay because George Harrison's singing Hare Krishna, and I didn't even know what it was yet. And because I opened my heart just even 1 inch, a tiny little opening, because he sang it, then it went deep into my heart, and I felt something I'd never felt before. I felt a whole change in my life and my body. And the holy name had pursued me. It followed me all the way through the airwaves, through the radio system, and out into the car. I was just content to stay isolated in the little town of Lafayette, California. None of you know where that is practically, because I was hiding out from the holy name, but he found me in the car. And Parama Karuna Prabhu, a great devotee who grew up in the Sankirtan movement. His father is Amarendra Prabhu, one of the great warriors of the Sankirtan movement. He's an attorney, and he's used his whole life to fight for keeping venues open so that people could go chant the holy names and distribute books. That's been his whole life's work. Besides being notably one of the best temple presidents who ever lived, and famous for serving Mahaprasadam to devotees, and starting the Krishna Lunch program in Gainesville, Florida. That's no small thing. And so he and his wife, Gayatri, who recently passed away, named their son Parama Karuna. And Parama Karuna, when he was coming into his teenage years, went away to a public high school. And that's very traumatic for young people. When they leave the confines of the temple and the Gurukul, and they have to go out into the world. And so it's a very discordant situation to be a devotee and then to go into that atmosphere. And so in order to fit in, he gave a new name. Do you know what his other name was? Paul or something like that? Anyway, he didn't want to be called Parama Karuna because for a high schooler, it's very difficult. So he went to his school, along with other kids did the same thing at that time, and his name was Paul something or other. And then, after his second semester there at school, hiding out, undercover, incognito, his mother made a mistake when she registered him, and she put in his devotional name, Parama Karuna, instead of his fake name. And so the teacher was coming through the roll, and he was sitting there perfectly happy until she came to the name, Parama Karuna, Parama Karuna, and he was sitting there. And he thought, Krishna's after me. And then later on, when he went home with some of his friends from high school, and he was a very popular person because he's so smart and good looking, and they were all following him around, and he went home one night. They were playing football or something. He had to get a jacket. So he went inside the house, and he was coming back out. His friends were waiting for him on the porch. And his mother, Gayatri, called out to him, "Oh, Parama, you be home by 9 o'clock. And he said, "Okay, Mom," closed the door. And he got outside, and of course all his friends said, "Say what? Parama? What is your name? Parama? I thought your name was Paul, man." And he said, "Well," and they said, "We like it. We like it better than Paul." They said, "We think that's kind of cool. Can we call you Parama?" And he goes, "I guess so." So they started calling him Parama. And then when he got back to school, a popular kid, everyone was going, "Hey, what's with your name anyway? Where'd you get this name?" And then he started telling him. And then they had more questions, and pretty soon he was sitting in the side of the playground, and people were crowded around him. He was teaching Krishna consciousness. One of the great preachers, we've seen him at question and answer booths. People wouldn't leave because he's so expert at teaching Krishna consciousness. And similarly, his friends, then many of them started to become interested in Krishna consciousness. And he told me that he had a direct realization of how the holy name came and got him and pulled him back in, because he made the attempt to go away. But the holy name is a little aggressive and comes after and says, "Oh, Parama, you come back now. And Parama, now preach to these nice kids here. They're your friends." And in this way, vacham vachakam ityudeta bhavato. There's a way in which the holy name is more merciful than Krishna himself, because Krishna is samaham sarvabhuteshu, but the holy name has an agenda, and that is to go everywhere and enter into people's private space and wake them up so that they take to the process of devotional service and become happy again. So what to speak of those who take the time to cultivate a little knowledge about the benefits of chanting the holy name of the Lord, and then on a regular daily basis, there's a little centipede here who likes the seminar, but we're going to have to ask him to sit a little further away. What to speak if someone deliberately leans in to the chanting of the holy name of the Lord every day and does one's utmost to pray to the holy name, to focus on the holy name as one's savior from all the troubles of the material world, as one's only recourse in life. What if somebody did that? What kind of damage would he do or she do to the material life? And what kind of progress could one make? So the benefit of chanting the holy name of the Lord is extolled again and again, even in the conversation between Haridas Thakur and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Haridas tells how there's layers of anartas that cover over our hearts. He said they're like clouds that keep us from seeing the light of the spiritual world that comes directly from the holy name. But by deliberately chanting the holy name of the Lord, the fog of the material world will be burned off, and one will be able to enjoy actual happy life in connection with the holy name. So we've come thousands of miles, many of us, to this place to pray to Haridas Thakur, who's the Namacharya, to remind us of the benefits of the holy name and to empower us to take very seriously the process of chanting every day and constantly, and taking advantage of the fact that Krishna has come in the form of his holy name and he's our best friend. So if we can remember some of these benefits and remind our minds that it's in our best interest to take advantage of Krishna's appearance in the holy name, then we may be a little more attracted every day to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That one of our friends, mutual friends, Madhavananda Prabhu, was reminding me, what's his name from Detroit? He's now in Radhakund. Prahlad. People used to, when he was distributing books, they'd come up and they say, "Hey, excuse me, are you a Hare Krishna?" And he goes, "What was that?" He'd go, "No, I'm not a Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare." Then what did he say? And then he'd say, "Are you a Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare." I know somebody, though, who was a Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. And the other day when we were going door to door, we were with a whole group of devotees, and we came to one door, and this man was going off to his work. He was a manager at a restaurant. I think it was a franchise restaurant, because he had a little a lapel badge on that had a name of some franchise. I forget what it was. But anyway, he was a Christian of some kind, and he didn't mind us being there, but he didn't want to partake of what we had. And so he didn't want a book, he didn't want prasadam, he didn't want anything. And so I said, "Can you say Hare Krishna?" And he goes, "No, I can't do that." I said, "You can't do what?" And he goes, "Say Hare Krishna." And all the devotees went, "Haribo!" So devotees are aware of how sneaky Krishna is, that he's sneaking around. In fact, whenever we go out and we teach people, we sell them a book, and then we give them prasadam, and then we say, "Do you believe in the power of prayer?" And many people say yes, especially in America, because people believe in prayer in America. And then we say, I'll teach you a beautiful prayer that's meant to wake up love for God in your heart. And then, so we give them a little card, and we say, "Now you follow after me. Just repeat what I say, and then you'll know how to do it. Are you ready?" And most of the time they go, "Okay." And we say, "Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare." Yeah, so it's a very edifying process to teach other people the holy name. And this was Haridas Thakur's contention also, that we shouldn't just chant it for ourselves, but we should chant it loudly so other living entities can hear it and take advantage. Because even that centipede that was in here, he liked it. You could tell. He was all like fuzzy and moving around, and he's feeling happy. He's here in the association devotees that hear it. And everybody likes it. When they hear the holy name, they get a benefit. They don't even realize that they're getting a benefit. But then sometimes, when I was in Toronto, and we were on the street, and there were these two guys, I think they were from Middle East country, and I was say, "Okay, now I'll teach you a prayer. You believe in the power of prayer?" And they go, "Yeah, of course we do." And I say, "I'll teach you this prayer." So I said, "Here's the card, and you just repeat after me. Hare Krishna, And the one guy was just like you. He was starting to say, and his friend grabbed him by the arm, and he said, Muhammad, don't do it. And I said, why? What happened? And he goes, you don't know what's in it. You don't know what's going to happen. This is a heavy thing. And he was very concerned for his friend. And then his friend became concerned too. And I was thinking, he knows what he's talking about. It's dangerous. It's dangerous to come and talk to the holy name. What to speak of, say Hare Krishna. What to speak of, lean into it and chant Hare Krishna with all your heart and soul. Who knows what'll happen? Anything could happen. It's a divine incantation. It can change the whole universe. It'll definitely change your life. So chanting Hare Krishna and then distributing, it's important to give it out to other people, because it's through them that we actually see the potency of the holy name, both in positive and negative. When we're chanting the holy names out in the public, we see the faces of people when they come in contact with the holy name. And we see the great exotic quality of the holy name, because you don't see that on anybody's face anywhere else. When they come across it, you can see they're trying to figure out what it is. They're thinking, I got to get out of here. I shouldn't stay, but I can't leave, because Krishna pulls them in because it's so attractive. And then through people who are so enthusiastic to chant the holy names, when they hear it, we also think, I wish I was that enthusiastic. And when we were going door to door in North Carolina, it was 108 degrees. We had about 10 devotees with us going to the door. And we came to one door, and the door opened, and there was a man who was physically handicapped. He could barely speak, and it was very difficult for him to move his muscles. But he opened the door, and then his caretaker, who was a nurse, came, and we were explaining to him that we had a book for him, and she didn't want him to take it, but he insisted. He grabbed the book. And after explaining it to him, then he went and got a donation, even against the wishes of the caretaker, who was a very nasty person. But he was resisting her, and even though he was under her control, he was moving by his own volition, even though he was handicapped. And then finally, I gave him prasadam and said, do you believe in the power of prayer? And he said, yes. And then I said, I'll teach you this mantra. And the nurse said, okay, that's enough. No more. You guys got to go. And he wouldn't let her close the door. He said, I want to learn the prayer. He could barely speak, but he was showing this with his the way he was acting. And so I said, Hare Krishna. And with all his strength, he strained, and he said, Hare Krishna. And I said again, Hare Krishna. He said, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna. Krishna, Krishna. Hare, Hare. Hare, Hare. All the way through the mantra, every sinew in his body was straining in order to say the holy name. Finally, the door closed. I turned around and I looked, and every devotee that was standing there had tears coming out of their eyes. And when I asked the devotees, I said, what are you feeling? They said, I wish I had that. I wish I had what he had. I wish I could feel like that. That I was so hungry for the holy name that I would chant it. And I don't have any handicap. I can chant anytime I want, but instead of doing that, I chant something else. Instead of looking at the holy name, I look at everything else in the universe. And so not only do we have to chant the holy name to follow the Namacharya, Haridas Thakur, but we also have to distribute it to others, because it's through distributing them to others that we actually see the potency of the holy name come alive. Just like in the Vedas, the Brahmanas used to test their mantras by taking an animal to the sacrificial arena, and then they would sacrifice the animal, and then they'd bring it back to life with their mantra, and then they'd prove that they're doing their mantras correctly. So in the same way, it's described in the Srimad Bhagavatam that in the age of Kali, People are all like animals. They've completely forgotten the human life. But when we take the mantra out and we speak it into the ears of the various animals, not only does it kill their material life, but it brings them back to spiritual life. And we can see the power of it, that people from all over the world, they say, I was dead. And then I met this person, and he said, Hare Krishna. And I woke up, and I became alive again. And I took to the process of Krishna consciousness. So we also have to test our mantra. We have to chant it, perfect it, but we also have to test it by bringing people back to life, by distributing it as much as possible to people all over the world. And by doing that, Haridas Thakur will give special mercy, because his intent was that everybody in the universe should get the Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And now I'm going to pass the microphone to my Japa guru, and that's Satyadev Prabhu. I've had the great benefit of having Satyadev Prabhu's friendship for many, many years. When he came into my life changed in so many ways. But one of the most pronounced ways is when I've traveled with him, I find out what it means to focus, how to actually spend time with full focus on the holy name of the Lord. I've learned this from him. In the way he stays completely still and listens to the holy name. And I see it, how his life is full of the benefits of chanting Hare Krishna, because he's so dedicated to the practice of meditating on the holy name and being fully focused. So let's give our full attention to His Grace Satyadev Prabhu, who will tell us his realizations if we pray really hard about the process of chanting japa and the holy name. Hare Krishna.
Can you lead us in the Gauranga stretch?
Yes. Now we're going to do the Gauranga stretch. So everybody please stand up. And now, put your arms in the air as high as you can. Try to touch the ceiling. And when I say 3, say Gauranga as loud as you can. 1, 2, 3. Gauranga! Okay, relax. Now try to touch the ceiling. 1, 2, 3. Gauranga! 1, 2, 3. Gauranga! Now this side of the room say Gauranga, and then this side say Nityananda. So 1, 2, 3. This side. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vaisesika Prabhu. Actually, he told the story of Paramakaruna. His son Mahashringa and Paramakaruna were best buddies in the Gurukula. And then just when they were in middle school, the Gurukula closed down, and most of our kids went to public school at that point. And unfortunately, my son never came back. At least he does say, though, he wishes that he could come back, but he doesn't feel like it's time yet. But I think he has that hope, so that's one thing. The other thing is when we were coming here in the rickshaw, I was in the front seat with the window right in front of me. I was thinking, if we hit something, I'm going to go through this window. And I've seen that many times. And sure enough, we're going along the boulevard there, and there's a divider there. And the rickshaw was going right at it. And I said, wow, we're going for this divider here. And I went, whoa! And we joked, I'm going to the planet of woe is me. Anyway, I'm passionate for the devotees who are struggling to chant. That just like the other day or last night, a devotee mentioned, he said, sometimes I feel like chanting and sometimes I don't. What do I do about those times? And I was looking at that devotee and I was thinking, he's probably about my age or near my age. So that means he may have been chanting for 40 years, 45 years. And many of us, even after 5 years, even after 1 year, the mind, comes to Krishna consciousness and hears all the benefits, not to minimize that at all. But then the mind has this expectation, okay, where is it? And once the mind has that expectation of where's the bliss, basically at that point, the bliss can't come through. Because it's not a matter of our control, It's a matter of receiving the mercy. And if the mind is trying to control Krishna, then Krishna's holding back. I worked on an ambulance for many years, and I had a paramedic partner who was from Wales in England. And in England, the social life is there in the pubs. People go to pubs. He said even in the firehouse they have a pub. And he said there was this one pub there that had a sign on it. Free beer tomorrow. Right? And people would go there and say, okay, where's the beer? Right? No, free beer tomorrow. And our mind is like that. What about now? So when we're chanting and we have this expectation of where is it? Where's the bliss? What can I get? It's not the soul. It's the false ego. It's not the real self. And I would say, at least for 20 years in my practice, most of the time I didn't feel like chanting, I have to admit. And even though I had many wonderful experiences in kirtan and doing different services and having wonderful association, so much of our practice is japa, right? Where when we first come to the temple, we're given a set of japa beads, or in my case, we didn't even have japa beads. Did you used to string your own japa beads, Malati? Yeah. Well, Sudama Prabhu, I joined in Japan, and we didn't have japa beads, but we had a bag of pine wood beads that had little holes in them that he had bought in Japan. And then I was given some string, and they said, okay, here, string your beads. So we strung our beads, and then he said, okay, this is how you chant. You sit down, and you chant the mantra, and you just hear. Did anybody get any more instruction than that? Not much. But yet, our practice is pretty much chanting 16 rounds a day for 2 hours. That's what we vow when we take initiation. Follow the 4 regulated principles and chant 16 rounds. It's such a major part of our process. And it's interesting. We know that the Yuga Dharma is to chant in association with others in kirtan, and especially when the kirtan's really sweet, like this morning. This morning it's effortless, to hear and chant, to actually be there for Krishna when we're chanting. Now Haridas Thakur, he and Lord Chaitanya had a conversation that's written in a book by Bhaktivinoda Thakur called the Harinam Chintamani, where Haridas Thakur explains that the holy name is like the sun. Krishna is fully present in the name. But the pure consciousness, which is what we actually are, that being of life, of living awareness, is identified with the material mind. And that identification with the material mind, with all the memories of the past and all the imaginations of the future, like watching a movie, it blocks our identification with that, blocks our experience of the holy name. It doesn't only block our experience of the holy name, it blocks our experience of our own being, of our own self. As long as, it's kind of like when you go to the movies. It's exactly the same. If you go into the movie, you sit down, you have some anticipation that I'm going to enjoy something, and it gets dark, and then on the screen, which is just like our mind, there's the image of the movie. And as soon as we begin to watch it, our consciousness goes into that story. And as soon as our consciousness goes into that story, something very amazing actually happens. We don't notice it. But what actually happens is that when we go into the story that's going on in the movie, we become unconscious of ourselves. We totally forget ourselves. Of course, that's why people go to the movies, because what they think of themselves is the mind with all of its sad story and all of its problems. But as long as we're absorbed in the story that's in our mind, we actually don't see the perfection of our divine life that's actually always here, always now. That's only exists because of Krishna. That's never separate from Krishna. And it's right here, it's right now. It's not tomorrow. It's not sometime in the future. It's always right now. So it took me about 20 years to start to get to get a clue of that. And actually, I had come to a point in my practice where I was so depressed and unhappy that I couldn't chant. There was other things going on. And I really didn't know what to do. But it was like Madhavananda Prabhu. He made this wonderful quote of Srila Prabhupada yesterday about anyone can pray to the Lord with feeling. In any condition, no matter who you are, where you are, if you actually have sincere feeling, the Lord will hear that and reciprocate. But there's one caveat. Prabhupada said, the sincere feeling only comes when you know your position, when you admit your position, when we can actually face where we are and admit that, then we can actually pray to the Lord. So I was praying like that. I don't know what to do. Either there's something wrong with me, or there's something wrong with this process, or there's something wrong with the teaching, or my teacher even. If we have a doubt in any one of these three areas, if we doubt the teaching, if we doubt ourselves or our ability to pursue this teaching, or we doubt our teacher, that doubt stops our movement. We can't move forward. And when we're doubtful like that, it's very difficult to chant. Even one round, what to speak of 16 rounds. So I was in a conundrum. Then I was reading Prabhupada's letters. That's about the time I started to read Prabhupada's letters. And I read a letter dated 1958. Before he came to America, he tried to begin the League of Devotees, where he started the League of Devotees, and he was responding to a letter he had received from one life member. And Prabhupada wrote there, he said, the happiness that you're looking for is within yourself, and you need to learn to introspect to discover that. That's not verbatim like that. He said, as soon as you learn to introspect yourself, you will discover the happiness that you're looking for. And he said, it's not a bluff. You will discover it yourself by your own experience directly. And he said, my job is simply to teach you the direction and the way. You have to know the direction and the way. And that is my wish for you. And as a child of God, I welcome you to this movement of the League of Devotees. Anyway, I was struck by this. I thought, well, what does that mean to introspect? What does that mean to look within? How do I do that? Haven't I been trying to do that for the last 20 years? At that time, this is like 25 years ago or 28 years ago. And I thought, no, I haven't. This whole time, actually, I haven't realized I'm not my body or my mind. I've been identified with the whole time. And so I thought, what to do? So I began to, I didn't really have any direction. I just decided to sit and to watch what thoughts and feelings were there, being equal towards them, fully accepting whatever feeling, thought was there. And if my mind was in a thought, I would notice the thought and look at it. And then in a short period of time, I thought, I learned that this is introspection, to look at what are the desires there, what are the feelings that are there, what are the motivations are there. We're the consciousness that is aware of that knows that. And if we actually look at that, we can notice, we have the experience that I'm the awareness of the thought, I'm not the thought. And that awareness is not coming or going. It's not shifting, it's solid. The mind feels like chanting today but doesn't feel like chanting tomorrow. If we hear something inspirational, we feel like chanting because the mind's inspired. But then when the mind's not feeling inspired, if it's contemplating something from the past or the future, or identifying with our sad story of woe, then we don't feel like chanting. But the awareness that's behind it is actually always there, always now. And because we're part of Krishna, it is joyful. It is peaceful. It is happy. So my proposal is this. It's not chant and be happy. It's be happy and chant. Yeah, not chant and be happy. Because you may not, if you're looking for happiness when you're chanting, you may not find it if you have that expectation. And it's actually not pure devotion. It's expecting something from the holy name. It's expecting something for Krishna. It's not saying, Krishna, let me serve you. It's saying, Krishna, please serve me. Make me happy. Make this miserable mind happy. It doesn't work that way. So, Krishna, he gives us a hint in the Bhagavad Gita of how to introspect and how to discover the truth of who we are now. Not tomorrow, but now. And he tells Arjuna, Trigunya Vishaya Veda, Nis Trigunar Bhavarjuna, Nirdanva Nit Yasasvasto, Nir Yoga Shematmavan. He said, Arjuna, the Vedas mainly deal with the three modes of material nature. At the end of the verse he says, Atmavan. He says, be situated in the self. And the way he describes how to be situated in the self is he says, Arjuna, give up thinking about gain. In other words, and safety. He says, don't worry about the future. Or the mind is about thinking about the past or the future. He says, don't go there. Be situated in the self, which is the life, the energy, the awareness It's always here, always now. And then you'll transcend the duality. Because when we're thinking about the past, we feel like we're there. Especially because we have thoughts about the past with feelings and emotions, old traumas, right? Even if we think about the past, because we have some feeling about it, even though it's then, we feel, and it's gone, the feeling is still there in the mind and the body. And it makes it think that the mind and our experience is real. It causes this duality, this illusion. And we just react to it and stay identified with the mind. And each time we do that, our identification with the mind it's like a tether ball. You know what a tether ball is? You know, I don't know, in India you might not have that game. Well, you have this little pole, and there's a rope, and there's a little ball on the end of it. And you hit the ball, and it goes around because of the momentum, right? You hit the ball again, and it goes around. There's another person on the other side. They're trying to hit the ball the other way. So every time we think, and we don't know that we're thinking, we're energizing this identification with our thoughts, with the person we imagine ourselves to be, that actually it only exists in thought. Who we really are is the eternal servant of Krishna, the life that's coming from Krishna, really. But every time we hit it, and we don't know it, we're keeping it going around. I know this is very mental and very philosophical, but let's just demonstrate this a little bit. So I'd ask you to all stand up for a second. This is just a demonstration. We do this at the yoga classes with people. Just to demonstrate the difference between the true self, which we always are, it hasn't gone away, and the mind, where mostly we live but we don't know it. We're not aware of it. We're in the movie watching it and we've forgotten who we are. So, can you feel your right hand? Yes? Did it take any effort? No. Wherever you put your attention, which is the function of the mind, it directs consciousness. Consciousness is always there. But it's like a light, like the flashlight. Wherever you focus it, that's what you become conscious of. So put your attention on your right hand. Can you feel your right hand? Yes. It's direct experience, right? Do you need to think in order to feel your right hand? It's a direct knowing. It's effortless. Right. Can you feel your right hand tomorrow? No. You have an image of maybe what it might feel like, right? Based on your past memories of it. Can you feel your right hand yesterday? No. So there's no life there. There's no ananda there. There's no joy there. There's no reality there. But right now you can feel your right hand. Yes? Can you feel both hands? Yeah. Now, is that bodily consciousness? Actually, it's not. Yeah, it's consciousness of the body. It's not the body. If we think I'm the body, then we're using the mind, and that's bodily consciousness. Go ahead and sit down just for a second. Krishna gives us another hint. In the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, he says that just like the sun illuminates the universe with light, the soul, which is the eternal consciousness, illuminates the body with consciousness. So when we become conscious of our body actually is just allowing us to become aware of ourself as the consciousness. So right now, just feel your, can you feel both hands? Yes? Can you feel your legs and your hands at the same time? Yes. Can you feel your whole body right now? Yeah. You can only feel your body now, actually. So we can use the body to help us chant Hare Krishna, to be present for Krishna. Because presence is life, presence is love, and Krishna is present in the name, personally present. And so He's not here for us, we're here for Him. Just like if a guest comes to your house and you invite them in, all that they want is your attention, right? If you say, please come on inside, and then you start doing something else, how do you feel if you were the guest? You feel like, oh, you don't care about me. But if I give you my attention, and I ask how you're doing, and I say, here's some water, but it's not the water, it's the attention, it's the consciousness. And if I give you my consciousness, you feel loved. But if I don't, you don't feel loved. So consciousness is love. You know, a little child, what do they want? They don't want anything but your glance, right? Because the awareness, the consciousness is in the glance. It's in the eyes. I love it right now. I made a new friend, Kush. Kush comes up to me and he smiles and he says, hi. And I feel loved, because he's giving me his full attention. So this is actually all we need to do to chant, with the attitude of not what can I get, but can I be here with you, Krishna, for 3 mantras? Just 3 mantras. Can I be here? Well, how do you be here? We have to ground the attention in the present. When we ground the attention in the present, we use the body to do that, because you can only feel your body now, and your cells will chant. They will help you chant. They will chant with you. So we bring our attention to the body as we chant. When you bring your attention to the present, you're conscious. And when you're consciously present, there you can experience the pure awareness, the life, the truth of life that you are. When you experience the truth of life that you are, you will feel happy, because as Prabhupada was saying, Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. The absolute truth is perfect and complete, and everything that expands from the absolute truth is perfect and complete. So we only have to discover our completeness now. When, just like in the verse we were reading today, that the devotee doesn't ask Krishna for anything because he already feels like he has everything. He knows he has everything because life is everything. The life that Krishna has given us now is full, is complete. We just have to pull our attention out of the mind long enough to be aware of it, even just for 3 mantras. So if we bring our attention into the body, now right now, can you feel your whole body? Yeah, you just bring your attention there. You might have been thinking about, when's this guy going to stop talking? Or what did I have for breakfast? You ask the question, where's my attention now? Say that. Where's my attention now? Now feel the body. Feel the whole body. And just feel that's consciousness. Now you become conscious of the body. Consciousness is now present. In this moment, do you have a problem? Do you need anything? Is life complete now? Are you okay now? Yeah. There's nothing we need now. Everything is there in the life we are right now. It's perfect and complete. We keep our attention there as we chant the holy name. When you feel perfect and complete, then you feel like, thank you, Krishna. Thank you for this life right now. And another meaning of the Hare Krishna mantra is thank you, Krishna. And then we're not thinking, what can I get? Where's the bliss? Notice the life that you have right now. Be happy with that as you chant and say thank you. Thank you, Krishna. So right now, just put your hand on your heart and close your eyes for a second. And as you feel the heart area, also just feel the whole body. As you breathe in, feel the heart. And as you breathe out, feel the whole body. And just feel the presence of life now that's coming from Krishna, that's gifted to us now by Krishna. And feel how it's perfect and complete. Everything is here. You couldn't be more alive now than you are. Life is intense. It's a thrill. It's complete. So now, we're going to chant the mantra together, and you can just feel the heart, you can feel the body vibrating, you can feel the cells vibrating. Krishna. As you feel your life, feel the cells vibrating Krishna. And see if you can feel that for 3 mantras. Without any other expectations. Just feeling the life now. We'll just chant together in unison. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Okay, thank you. Now, can you feel the body is vibrating with the mantra? So we just simply have to feel the body. Just feel life in the body, not mentally, but just the vibration of life, the flow of life in the body. Just like when you can you feel your hand right now? It's vibrating with life, with feeling, with sensation. And there's consciousness. Nothing more than that, simply that. Not looking for anything more. And then just saying thank you to Krishna for your life now as you chant. And try and do that for 3 mantras. And then you may feel that the cells in the body are also vibrating. They're cooperating with God. And they're also happy to chant. Because the mind and the cells of the body, they're connected. You know, when we feel sad, the cells feel sad. When we feel happy, the cells feel happy. And when we're chanting in presence, the cells will also chant in presence and in happiness and in gratitude to Krishna. So that's basically what I wanted to share with you today. And pretty much this is how I chant now. I don't put a lot of effort on trying to concentrate on the mantra. I just concentrate on being aware of my life in this moment, and automatically I feel gratitude. I'm there for Krishna when and the holy name is there, and I'm trying to be there for Krishna. That's all. Not without any other expectation, and whatever comes or doesn't come, how could I ask for more than what Krishna is giving me right now? That's my attitude. One other thing I just wanted to mention before we go on in relationship to Haridas Thakur and Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. I read in his biography that Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he established his Bhajan Kuntir very close by to the Siddha Bakula. And there's a reason for that. He, in his preaching effort, even Bhakti Vinod Thakur sometimes was feeling some deficiency or some helplessness in how to give Krishna consciousness to the conditioned souls in Kali Yuga. He was also feeling helpless sometimes and some lack, and he was praying to the Lord what to do. And he had a dream, he had a vision of Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu told him to pray to Haridas Thakur for inspiration and for guidance. And then he established his house here, and he meditated on Haridas Thakur at the Siddha Bakula, and to get inspiration how to effectively give Krishna consciousness to the conditioned soul. So one of the things Vaisesika Prabhu was mentioning yesterday, that one of the things we ask for when we come to the Dham is to be inspired so that we can satisfy our spiritual master and bring Krishna consciousness compassionately to the fallen souls. And to get, while we're here, get that inspiration and guidance, and then to take that back with us when we go out into our missions. So we can also pray to Haridas Thakur for inspiration and for guidance in our preaching effort. Since we want to be Krishna conscious ourselves, because then we'll naturally want to give Krishna consciousness to others. How can we give something we don't have ourselves? But when we're feeling full and happy with what we have gotten, then naturally we're inspired to give it to others. And this is actually the natural way that Krishna consciousness spreads. Ultimately, it's not about strategies and theories. It's just about being happy ourselves. And I like the guidance you got from Radhanath Maharaj. One time you told me, I asked you what you discussed, and he mentioned to you, he said that our only duty is to be blissful, to become Krishna conscious and happy ourselves, and by that, Krishna consciousness spreads. So I'll end on that note. Hare Krishna. Now I'm eagerly waiting to hear about Haridas Thakur and Siddha Bakula tree and whatever nectar Madhavananda Prabhu wants to share with us, however he's inspired.
We just stand up for 1 minute. Reach up as high as you can, try to touch the ceiling. And on 3, please say Gauranga. 1, 2, 3. Gauranga! 1, 2, 3. Gauranga! 1, 2, 3. Gauranga! This is Gauranga, this is Nityananda. 1, 2, 3. Louder! I have a question for you. Can you say Gauranga? Gauranga! Go Premanande Haribo.
Gora Groganya Gana Go Chugoloruharam Goranga Gura Tamagopyada Kopa Vriksham Gopala Gada Ratidam Yati Singha Gora Govinda Deshi Kavaram Satatam Namami Vanchakalpatarubhischa Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I'd like to ask everybody to please repeat after me. We'll recite 2 different pranam mantras to Haridas Thakur. Namami Haridasam Tam Chaitanyam Tam Chatat Prabhum Samstitam Api Yanmurtim Swanke Kritva Nanartaya. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Haridas Thakur and his master, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who danced with the body of Haridas Thakur on his lap. This is a verse that we just read from Chaitanya Charitamrita. The verse I'm about to read you, we learned from the Mahant here at Siddha Bakula. Please repeat. Chatur Muko Jagat Karta Chaturveda Parayana Haridasa Kalojata Brahmanam Tvam Namamyaham. I offer my obeisances to Lord Brahma, who is the four-headed creator of the material universe, the knower of the four Vedas, who took birth as Haridas Thakur in Kali Yuga. So, as we've been mentioning, this is a Jagannath Puri University of Braj Prem. In each different Tirthastali is a different classroom in that university. And there's a different lesson in each place. And in particular, what we want to try to learn something about is the mood of the place. The mood of the personalities who did bhajan there. And what can we gain from understanding something about their mood? What can we gain in our own bhajan? So when I come here, I'm reminded of a nice verse which was written here in Jagannath Puri by Jagadananda Pandit in his book Prema Vivarta. So I'll sing this and you can chant Hare Krishna in response. Sadhu Sangha Krishna Nam E Matra Chai Sansara Jinitaya Kono Vastu Nai Bolo Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Sadhu Sangha, Krishna Nam, E Matra Chai. All I want are these two things. Sadhu Sangha and Krishna Nam. You may say, what is a necessity? We say Harinama, Harinama, Harinama Eva Kevalam. All that's required is the holy name. Why do we say Sadhu Sangha, Krishna Nam, E Matra Chai? Sangsara Janitiyar Konovastu Nai. It says, all that I need to go beyond this material universe are these two things. Because these two things, they come together. And you can't separate one from the other. We can't separate the holy name from the devotee. It's the devotee who gives us the holy name. And when we please the devotee tells us about chanting. And then from that chanting, what do we get? We get sadhu sangha. And then from that sadhu sangha, what do we get? We get deeper Krishna Nam. And from deeper Krishna Nam, what do we get? We get deeper sadhu sangha. And from deeper sadhu sangha, what do we get? Deeper Krishna Nam. And the two go like a circle. Chaitanya Charitamrita Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that Tate Krishna Bhaji Kori Guru Sevan. How? What is our Krishna bhajan? Our Krishna bhajan is our Guru Seva. Our Guru Seva is our Krishna bhajan. We want to please Gurudev, so we're doing Krishna bhajan. So there are many different lessons here at this place we'd like to meditate on. I'd like to begin just by saying something a little bit about this place and the tree. This tree, I don't like to call him a tree. This is one of the last living associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on this planet. I say one of the last. If you want to come and spend some time with us here in Puri, I know of this tree, I'll explain in a moment, was planted directly by the hand of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But I know of two other trees also. here in Orissa that were planted 500 years ago by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But this tree is much more important than those two. So, Haridas Thakur was just reading Namami Brahmatam, that he's Lord Brahma. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he describes that previously Lord Brahma, he had some problem, some misunderstanding. Because he thought that he was a very, very important person. In Brihad Bhagavatamrita, when Narad Muni is looking for the topmost devotee, he's going from one place to another place to another place, and he's looking for the topmost devotee. And each person he goes to says, no, not me, you got to go somewhere else. And finally he's told he should go to Lord Brahma. And when he goes to Lord Brahma also says, no, it's not me. He says, you see, I have this problem. I have this Guru Abhiman. I have this attitude that I'm Pitamaha. I'm the creator of the universe. I'm the grandfather. I'm the guru of all that is. And that caused a big problem. Because I had that mentality, then I didn't recognize Krishna. And because of that, I did a very terrible offense. I kidnapped Krishna's associates. To this day, that offense is something which in many parts of the world, if you kidnap someone, the penalty is death. It's considered to be a very, very terrible offense. So I kidnapped the cowherd boys and the calves because I was proud and I couldn't recognize Krishna's position or the position of those boys and calves. And so then Lord Brahma, he had an attitude adjustment. He went to Krishna and he said, please forgive me. And Krishna said, look, you're my devotee. It's okay. Don't worry about it. But Lord Brahma, he said, no, that's not good enough for me. I want something more. I want a benediction from you that you please let me take birth in a very low family, a very, very low birth where no one will give me respect. And so he became Yavana Haridas. And he became known as the Namacharya. And as the Namacharya, we have so much to learn from him about chanting the holy names. Haridas Thakur, he never had the attitude of entitlement. In bhakti, there's two principles which are very important. One is empowerment, and the other is the antithesis of that, which is entitlement. I've tried to contemplate over the years something about Srila Prabhupada, because it's not enough just to follow someone or offer some prayers to them, but we should think about their mood, we should think about their mission. And in thinking about Srila Prabhupada, from my perspective, I came to the conclusion that Srila Prabhupada established his movement based on four principles: love, trust, responsibility, and empowerment. He loved the devotees, and the symptom of love is that you trust them. And Prabhupada spoke so much about love and trust. What is the symptom of trust? Responsibility. You'll understand that those of you who have children, when your kid comes to you when he's 16 years old and says, I want the keys to the car. So that's responsibility. But responsibility is a two-way street. You have to earn responsibility. If you're 16 years old and your parents tell you should be home every night by 9 o'clock and you're coming home at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, then they may say, I'm not going to give you the keys to the car. I don't trust you. I don't know what you're going to do. We have to earn that trust. When we earn that trust and we receive that trust in the form of responsibility, just like I can't think of a greater example than Malati Mataji, who's here, and three other devotees who, with you, Prabhupada, you hadn't been devotees for 2 years, and Prabhupada sent you to London. You're very, very new to, didn't know so much philosophy, I don't think, so many things. And Prabhupada loved you and trusted you, and he gave you such responsibility. And what was the result of that? The devotees become empowered. And this is what Vaishnavism is all about. We want to see other persons empowered. And this place is also a place of empowerment, Because it was here at Siddha Bakula that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu introduced a new man to all the devotees. One day he called for Ramananda Roy and Nityananda and Advaita and all the different devotees. He said, you come to Siddha Bakula, I want to introduce you to someone. And there was one very humble younger devotee there. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, his name is Rupa Goswami. And I want all of you to bless him. You give your full blessings to Rupa Goswami. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had no envy. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in the beginning of Harinam Chintamani, a book which takes place here at Siddha Bakula, he says that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, although he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he learned from the mouth of Haridas Thakur about Nam Tattva. He learned from the mouth of Rupa Goswami about Rasa Tattva. Here in Puri, he learned from the mouth of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya about Mukti Tattva. Here, not far from here, from the mouth of Ramananda Roy, he learned about Sarva Sadhana, what is the topmost thing. And by doing this, he showed us indirectly how we should behave. We should always be willing to hear from some other person. And even though someone's a junior person, we should encourage them. We've been in Puri, in Orissa, for over 25 years. And we've taken so many devotees around in Parikrama. And one particular Parikrama I always remember was a group of young girls from the Mayapur public school. And they were like, 8 years old to 12 years old, something. And one day we took them to Tota Gopinath temple. And after our talk there, we were walking away. And these little girls, they're walking around me. And one of them said, Prabhuji, when I grow up, I want to be just like you. Right? The little girls, that's what little girls do. And I stopped and I said, no. And they were all a little shocked. And I said, no, you should become better than me. Because you're coming from a much, much better background than I am. And when I said that to those little girls, you should have seen them. Their backs became straight and they became a little bit empowered. And so this is what Vaishnavism is all about. And this is what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching us through Haridas Thakur. That although he's born in a Yavana family, Mahaprabhu has given him the title as a Namacharya. And what was his qualification as a Namacharya? We know that prior to coming to Puri, the devotees, some of the people became envious, the Muslims of Haridas Thakur. It's a long story I won't go into. But they complained about him, that he's ruining the Muslim Dharma by chanting Hare Krishna. And so they called, the Chankazi called for Haridas Thakur and he said, look, you come from a nice family. I want to give you a break. Just give up this Hare Krishna stuff and just come back to Islamic Dharma. And Haridas Thakur said, I can't do that. And he said, look, if you don't do this, we're going to have to kill you. And Haridas Thakur said, what can I do? He said, you can cut my body into 1,000 pieces, but every piece is going to keep chanting Hare Krishna. You're not going to stop me. And so then they became a little unhappy with that smart remark. And the Chankazi told the guards that you beat him to death in all 22 different marketplaces. And usually someone would die after 1 or 2 marketplaces. They took Haridas Thakur through all 22 and they beat him so severely. People were crying. People were coming and throwing themselves at the feet of the guards. Please don't do this. Some people were saying, hit me instead. Please let him go. He's a saint. And what was Haridas Thakur doing? He was laughing and happiness. Later, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed to the devotees in Srivas Sangam, he took his shirt off his back and he showed him to Haridas Thakur. He said, I was covering your back and that beating I took on my body. And Haridas Thakur, on his part, he was just chanting Hare Krishna in ecstasy. And then after a little while, the guards were beating him 22 marketplaces. They got a little tired. They were exhausted. And the guards were getting really depressed. And Haridas Thakur, they're trying to kill him. He looks up at me and said, is there something wrong? They're trying to kill him. And he looks up at them, is there something wrong? Is everything okay? They said, well, we have one problem. What is the problem? He said, well, we don't know how to tell you this, but the problem is you. What do you mean? He said, well, the problem is you're still alive. Because you're supposed to be dead. You know, look, I have a family, I have kids. Those guards told Haridas Thakur. And if we don't kill you, the Chankaji is going to kill us. Haridas said, oh my God, I don't want to cause you any trouble. He said, no problem, I'll leave my body. And then Haridas Thakur sat there and he started chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And he went into a deep samadhi. And it looked as though he were dead. And the guards were very happy. They picked him up and they carried him to the Chankaji. Chankaji said, he's too bad, to bury him like a good Muslim. You should just throw him in the Ganga like a dog. Yes, boss. So they took him to the Ganga, and when they went to throw him in the Ganga, suddenly Krishna appeared in the body of Haridas Thakur. And he became so heavy they couldn't budge him. And then suddenly he became a little light, and they threw him in the water, and he started floating. And Haridas Thakur was floating down the Ganga. And after some time, he regained external consciousness. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Where am I? Oh, it's wet. Oh, I'm in the middle of the Ganga. And they got out of the water and went back, and the people in the village said, oh, he's really a saint. So that same Haridas Thakur, he came here to Jagannath Puri. And what's ironic to me about Haridas Thakur is that Haridas Thakur is the person who installed the deities in the Jagannath Mandir originally. He's the incarnation of Lord Brahma. But when he came here to Jagannath Puri, he's born in a Muslim family. They wouldn't let him in the temple now. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could have said, hey, this is the Namacharya. He could have gone there and said, look, don't you know who I am? I'm the one who installed the deities. Get out of my way. I'm the Namacharya. He didn't do that. And by his attitude, by his behavior, he showed us, by his mood and chanting in this place, he showed us how to chant the holy names. The Tanada Pishanichena, Todo Eva Sehistana, Amanina Manadina, Kirtaniya Sadahari. We should be as tolerant as a tree, think ourselves as low as the grass, and give all respect to others. Don't demand any respect. And then we can always chant. Haridas Thakur had no attitude of entitlement. I heard a very beautiful story about one of my personal great heroes in my life, Prabhupada's disciple Jamuna. That some years back when she came to Mayapur on her last visit, before she left this world, she was, I heard this from, what's her name? Krishna Koni around? Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj's disciple. Braj Leela, thank you. Braj Leela told us this story. That Jamuna had come to Mayapur, and she got together a small group of devotees, and she said, you know, we should come together every night, and we should do kirtan together. Wow, that's great. Who wouldn't like to do kirtan with Jamuna? That's the best, right? So there was about, 8 or 10 devotees or something, and she told them, now please come every night and don't be late. We have a sacred bond with each other. So the second or third night, there was a knock on the door, and there was another devotee there, a friend of most of the devotees. And she came to the door with kind of a sheepish smile, and she said, I heard about the kirtan. Can I come in and join you? And Jamuna said, I'm sorry, there's no room. And Braj Leela was a little bewildered. She looked around, there's room, there's space in the room there. And she said, well, there's enough room. Somebody said, we can go out on the balcony a little bit. And then Jamuna, a little begrudgingly, she said, okay. So later on, Braj Leela, she went to Jamuna and she said, look, I don't understand. This doesn't seem like your mood at all. You're so kind to everyone and so encouraging to everyone. Why were you telling her there's no space? And Jamuna said a very deep thing to her. She said, I saw on her face the attitude of entitlement. I'm a Hare Krishna devotee. This is a Hare Krishna program. Where you go, I can join it. I can just walk in the middle of everything and just take part with this because I'm an ISKCON devotee. I can go to any temple I want to, anywhere in the world. And not only that, but everybody should invite me to give class. And if you don't invite me to give class, you're doing some offense. That's the attitude of entitlement. And such an attitude is poisonous to bhakti. Haridas Thakur was completely devoid of that attitude. He just saw himself as the most fallen, wretched person. And I always appreciated his mood. Haridas Thakur always thought, I'm a Yavana, I'm a Malecha. He never tried to tell people, don't you know who I am? Now I'm a Hare Krishna devotee. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and I, we're like this, you know. We're really tight. He and I, he calls me the Namacharya. You should give me some respect. He never spoke like that. He never forgot his past. But I'm not like Haridas Thakur. I forget my mother. And I forget my father. I forget where I came from. And it's not good. They may not be devotees, but they gave birth to me. They helped me. And that's where I'm coming from. Why should I all of a sudden think, now Vaisesika is asking me to give a talk in front of all the devotees. I'm a very big person now. Why should I think like that? Who am I? I pray that I may never forget where I come from. And no matter how attractive the illusion may be, may I never fall prey to thinking that I'm something that I'm not. May I embrace my fallen position. Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he says we have three friends, indirectly in the verse. Dukkha trasa parada jara norjitam dadinata. The first friend is dukh, unhappiness. Very good friend. Second friend is tras. Tras means fear. Very good friend. Third friend, aparada jyar. The sense that I've committed an offense. Why are these my friends? Anorjitam tudinata, because these three things give rise to humility. If I embrace them, if I accept, I'm a really unhappy person. It's very humbling to admit my life is miserable. I failed. I failed in everything that I've tried in my life. That's really depressing. But it's good for me because it's humbling. And trasa, fear, is good for me. It also humbles me. And aparada jayar, having the sense that I am an offender. We often recite this prayer to Srimati Radharani. Remember the first word? Pasanjaham maho nityam paraparada dharmaka kshamashamam hare radha dehi me sadhu dharmakam. Ami pasandi. What is a pasandi? Pasandi in Sanskrit means a heretic. It means an atheist. It means a rascal. A pasandi in Sanskrit has another meaning. It means someone who's a false pretender, who's acting like something they're not. Pasanchaham, that's me, and not just sometimes. Aho nityam, I'm always like that. I'm just putting on a show. Pasanchaham aho nityam, and more than that, paraparada dharmaka. My dharma, my inherent nature is I'm always offending everyone. Paraparada dharmaka. So with that identity, embracing that, not denying that, not trying to hide my faults, but being honest about them and embracing them, then that fuels my bhajan. Kshamashamam Hare Radha. Oh hey, Srimati Radharani, Kshamasha, please forgive me. Kshamashamam Hare Radha. Dehi me sadhu dharmakam. Please make me into a saintly person. This is a lesson we get here in this place from Namacharya Haridas Thakur. And when he came to Jagannath Puri, he asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, please give me some place where the pandas, or I don't take any risk of touching the pandas. because they're very exalted persons. And if I step on their shadow, and maybe they even look at me, they're going to be contaminated. So he stayed here. And he couldn't have darshan of Lord Jagannath. That's pretty bad, isn't it? But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him, you just have darshan of the Sudarshan Chakra, which then, before the urban development, he could see from this place. And our acharyas describe, he didn't have to go see Lord Jagannath. Lord Jagannath would come to see him. And in this way, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he taught us the meaning of darshan. Darshan doesn't mean that you go to www.darshan.com and you look at it, or you go in the temple and you stand in front of the deity. Yeah, it's okay. I approve. Pujari did a good job today. That's not darshan. Darshan means you may sometimes see the Indians, the Hindus, they come before the deity and they pull their ears and they slap their cheeks because they're inviting the Lord, please, I'm your beast. Please chastise me, punish me. That's darshan. Darshan doesn't mean you go to work and you stand in front of your boss's desk and you just look at him. And he says, what are you doing? Well, I'm just checking you out, boss. Huh? You go to work, you report to work, and he checks you out. Darshan means we come before the Lord and the Lord sees us. So, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he said we should behave in such a way that the Lord will want to see us. And Haridas Thakur did this here in this place. He was the most humble person. He had no attitude of entitlement. He was Lord Brahma who installed the deities. But he felt himself the most fallen, wretched person. And he didn't have to go see Lord Jagannath. Lord Jagannath came to him every day in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And one day, Mahaprabhu had gone to the temple to have darshan of Lord Jagannath at Mangalartik. And one of the pujaris gave him a toothbrush of Lord Jagannath. Oh, which I forgot to bring with me today. It's my prop. Anyway, I have a toothbrush of Lord Jagannath. You can ask me later if someone wants to see. So Mahaprabhu brought that old dead stick here to this place to Haridas Thakur. And Haridas Thakur's Nam Bhajan touched the heart of Mahaprabhu so much, he took that stick and he stuck it in the ground. And the stick started growing. And is still growing today. And it's this tree. One of the last living associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this tree was planted by the hand of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This tree was the witness, the sakshi, and the listener of the kirtan of Haridas Thakur and the chanting of Rupa and Sanatan Goswami, who are also staying here, and the other devotees who came here. He heard the verses of Rupa Goswami from Lalita Madhav and Vidagdha Madhav. What a wonderful tree. This tree is a sadhu and is a person. I remember coming here a few years ago and we were giving a talk with a group of devotees, and there was one Gaudiya Mutt sannyasi, Indian sannyasi, kind of sitting off to the side. And I noticed that he was watching me rather intently while I was speaking. Whatever. And so when we finished our talk, all the devotees got up, and that sannyasi came over and he looked at me in a funny kind of way and he said, "Who's your guru?" Hari Bhakti Vilas Sanatan Goswami says, if someone asks you that, we don't like to say the name of our guru. But if someone asks us, and we should fold our hands, bow our head, and we preface his name with Sri Srimad. Just like I also don't like to say the name of my mother. I didn't call my mother by her name. I out of respect, I don't say the name of my Gurudev. So I bowed my head, folded my hands, I said, Sri Srimad Gaur Govinda Maharaj. And he looked at me and said, I thought so. And he said, I remember your Guru Maharaj. The first place I met him was right here. He said, I was a brahmachari, and I came here to Siddha Bakula one day, and I saw there was some sadhu Mahatma sitting here chanting japa very, very intensely. And I was just sitting and watching him. And after a while, he opened his eyes and he saw me. And he gave me some instruction. And he told me, he said, this tree is a Siddha Mahatma. It's a great personality. This tree is a Kalpa Briksha tree. It'll fulfill any desire you have. And he said, you be careful what you pray for here at this place. And our Guru Maharaj used to tell us there are 2 secrets in Nam Bhajan. Would you like to know what those 2 secrets are? Yes. The first secret is that you should every day offer prayers to Lord Nityananda. And the second secret is that you should offer prayers for other persons. So I have a humble request. Where did my phone? Right there. To all of you today. I've gotten some letters recently from 3 different personalities that a lot of you know. Their names are Malini, and Gita Priya, and Hangsa Priya. And they were from San Jose. And they were all crying, writing to me, I wish I was there. And all 3 of them said, would you please say some prayer for me? So I want to fulfill their request. It's my humble request to all of you. When you go to the tree before you leave and give the tree a hug and say a prayer for Malini that she can't be here. You say a prayer for Gita Priya, her daughter. She can't be here. You say a prayer for Hangsa Priya, who's staying back and doing the deity service, I think, and cooking and doing so many services so that so many of you could come. It's a very powerful thing if we offer a prayer on behalf of someone else. So we'd like to add the name of Saraswati. I often think of Saraswati. Prabhupada Saraswati. We should also say some prayer for Saraswati. Prabhupada loved Saraswati so much. Prabhupada had so many exchanges with her. He gave her so much affection. And she's very, very dear to the hearts of all the devotees. So I'd like to finish with a little song that we like to sing. And I like to sing especially in this prayer, in this place, because this song gives us the best of both worlds. It's a song, but it's also a feast, because we all like to eat, right? So, as we mentioned sometimes, in Orissa, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is very popular, and they have a nice song. So I'd like to teach all of you a song, okay? It's not very hard. We'll do it 1 or 2 words at a time. So please repeat after me, then I'll explain it, okay? Rama, Nama, Rama Nama, Ladua, Rama Nama Ladua, Krishna Nama, Krishna Nama, Gi, Krishna Nama Gi, Rama Nama Ladua, Krishna Nama Gi, Hari Nama, Hari Nama, Kanda, Kira, Kanda Kira, Hari Nama, Kanda Kira, Gori, Gori, Pi, Gori Gori Pi, Hari Nama, Kanda Kira, Gori Gori Pi. That's like the postgraduate line. We'll do it again. Hari Nama, Kanda Kira, Gori Gori Pi. Has a nice meaning. You take the name of Lord Ram, which is like a ladu, Rama Nama Ladua, and then you add Krishna Nama Gi, the name of Krishna, which is like Gi, and then you take the Hari Nam, the name of Lord Hari, which is like Kanda Kira, sweet rice, the Rama Nama Ladua, the Krishna Nama Gi, the Hari Nama Kanda Kira, and Gori Gori. You mix them all together, and Pi. You drink it. Rama Nama Ladua, Krishna Nama Gi Bolo. Rama Nama Ladua, Krishna Nama Gi. Hari Nama Kanda Kira Gore Gore Pi. Hari Nama Kanda Kira Gore Gore Pi. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Haridas Thakur, Jai Haridas Thakur, Haridas Thakur, Jai Haridas Thakur, Jaya. Jai Vaishnav Thakur, Amito Mara Kukur, Jai Vaishnav Thakur, Amito Mara Kukur, Jai. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Srila Namacharya Haridas Thakur ke, Shri Siddha Bakula ke, Srila Prabhupada ke, Go Premanande Hari Hari Bo.
Mukharvin, Shraddha, gone. Where? You think what? Okay, so we're going to now go down to the main road, Grand Road, for the big show. Some people have never seen such Harinam chanted, and you'll notice that people come from all over the world here to Jagannath Puri to see Lord Jagannath. They don't know that much about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and they certainly don't know about the worldwide Sankirtan movement. And they're going to find out today a little bit more about it. This kind of chanting of Hare Krishna as representatives of Haridas Thakur is very rare in the world. So please feel very encouraged and empowered to be representatives of this holy place under the direction of Srila Prabhupada, to go out and chant the holy names loudly so that everybody can come in contact. And also take the time to experience what it's like to distribute books here in the Holy Dham. You'll get special credit for distributing some books here in the Holy Dham. It's also easier than any other place in the world. And the Chinese devotees last year said when they came here and saw how easy it is to distribute books because people actually like it, that it encouraged them to go back to present in their own country. As if you stay in a place where people don't know what you're doing or appreciate it, and after a while you start thinking, well, maybe it's not worthy. But when you come here, you'll see how much value there is, how much people appreciate what you're doing. So I don't know where exactly what the program is. Does somebody know? Are we walking? Were we left with instructions? Okay, so we're going to walk out of here. Hopefully, Madhavananda Prabhu will lead us down to the Grand Road, to the place. And we'll get down there. We'll have a table with books, and we'll do Harinam there for a while. You won't want to stop, actually. But we'll have to stop at some point, and then we'll go back for lunch. Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Vancha kalpadurvascha kripasinabhevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha gopremanande haribo.
Nachariyar marman, nachariyar marman, nachariyar marman, nachariyar marman, hey, nachariyar marman, nachariyar marman, nachariyar marman, nachariyar marman.